Hey guys, welcome back to Eyecraftmc. In today's video, we're going to be making a rail line from our place to the village. But before we do that, we're going to make today's banner of the day. Today's banner starts with a yellow banner and white dye. The white dye is in the white poly. Next, we're going to go on to a brown border indented, which is this pattern right here. Next, we're going to go on to a brown saltier, which is this pattern right here. Next, we're going to go on to a brown base, which is having this part of the banner be brown. And we're going to end off with a brown inverted chevron, which is this pattern right here. And hopefully you can see what that is. It's supposed to be an owl, and I thought that was a really cool banner since it's kind of hard to make really interesting shapes and patterns on banners. And so I think that this owl really shows off what an owl looks like really well. So yeah, there we go. There is an owl banner. Alright, so what we're going to be working on today is we're going to be making ourselves a rail making machine. And basically, the way to do that is we have a whole bunch of supplies we need, and we're just going to build it probably over here next to the rest of our farms. Thankfully, it's a super easy farm to make, so it's just all the materials we need here. We just need some slime blocks, a piece of glowstone, a sticky piston, a lever, 3 observers, and then some rails, and those are going to be the ones that we're going to be getting more of. So what I'll do first is I'll actually just make the rails that I need. And the rails I'm going to be needing is I'm going to be needing a powered rail, and the way to make that, you need 1 redstone and 6 gold as well as 1 stick. So it's a pretty easy recipe, and that makes you 6 powered rails. The only thing you need is a whole bunch of gold, but thankfully because gold does spawn in the nether, it's actually rather easy to get lots of gold. So we'll do that. And we'll just get a stick, and then that'll be how we make that powered rail. And that'll make us enough to get. And another thing we're going to use is a detector rail, and the detector rail is made with 6 iron, 1 stick, and 1 stone pressure plate. We actually already have a detector rail, so we're just going to use that one right here. But the recipe for that is basically the exact same as this, except for these are iron, and this is a stone pressure plate. So what we're going to do is we're going to build the farm over here. And this is basically going to provide us with all the rails we're going to need to basically build rails machines everywhere, or not rail machines everywhere, but make a train tracks or minecart tracks, but you know, they're kind of like trains. So these are all the supplies we're going to need, and what we're going to do is we're going to start by placing down 2 observers like this, just both upward. Then we're going to break this block right here, and then we're going to go down in that hole. We're going to place the observer facing up, and now this is actually a clock. You can see that's kind of flashing on and off. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get ourselves up here, and we're going to basically put a singular block here, a piece of glowstone, and we're going to put a sticky piston facing out like this, and that should be going in and out, but I'm guessing that a sticky piston is a transparent block. So what I'm just going to do is I'll just grab a piece of grass here, because the grass is certainly not a transparent block, and we're just going to put the grass right there, and yeah, that should be going like that. And then we'll just put a lever here, and this lever will basically just turn that off, and then we'll not have an issue with that. So all we have to do now is just place down some slime blocks down like this and over a bit, so we just have basically this pattern and shape right here. We're going to end off by putting an observer like that and putting the rails we want to get more of here. So the rails I want is I want a detector rail as well as 3 powered rails, and when we turn that on, that'll basically just get us more and more rails like that. So basically just a really easy and simple way of getting unlimited rails, and now we can just let this run, and as it runs we can basically just get more and more of these, and of course we can just turn it off by going like this. And we can even just flick the lever ourselves to make more rails, but this little clock circuit here makes it super easy to do it doing it automatically, not manually, so that's really useful. I think we'll probably just head to bed here real quick. Another thing I often will do is just turn off my my volume for blocks when I'm near it, since it is quite loud. So we'll just go over here. And we're going to head to bed here in a minute. The thing we want to do real quick is, if you see here my chest plate here, it has really good enchantments, it's about to break. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add to it a book of mending, and then it'll mend as we do all the things that we do in our world, and that'll basically just make it so that I can keep this chest plate for hopefully forever, really. And then eventually I can upgrade it to netherite and all that too. So we'll just add there there we can even just name it to customize that there, which will be my game name, and then what it is, like that. There we go, and we can just have it like that. And I always like naming things when I add a book, since it only costs 1 more level. So hopefully this will mend as we do different stuff today. Looks like the sun is setting. And if you're wondering when I added all the stuff to my attic, I did that in the last episode. So yeah, let's go over here and go to our bed right down here and head to bed. Alright. And here we are in the morning, and this has been running all night, well, which wasn't a very long night admittedly, but it was working all night. So what we're going to do is we're going to grab all those rails, probably turn off the machine for now since that is a huge amount of rails, and we're going to get ourselves some not powered rails because obviously to make a rail line, you're going to need some kind of turn in that, right? So what we're going to use for that is we're going to use the unpowered rails. Actually, we'll let this go while we get the unpowered rails going, and I think we do have some already. But if you want to know how to craft those, it's just 6 iron, 3 on either side of the crafting grid, and then 1 stick in the very middle, and that'll give you 16 rails. So yeah, I always use that for the first time to get it, but then I just use this machine to get even more. So yeah, you can always just craft them, but I don't actually have a huge amount of iron, so I find this just a lot easier. So let's grab 4 rails, and we can basically just put that in the machine and let it get a bunch of those. So we'll go over here and do that. And yeah, I'm thinking of putting the rail line right through here, straight forward. That'll go right through the right to the village. And I already know what the level I want most of this world to be at. Like a lot of this is going to get lowered eventually, which is right here. I want this. This is level 71. So I'm going to have the entire, not the entire thing, but a lot of this world be at 71 eventually. And so a lot of this area anyway. And something you can do too is you can always have a block up like this. So you can get up on top of your rail machine to break that. And if you just break the slime blocks back, and it's easy, you can just place them right back like that. So yeah, we'll just put down some rails like this. Alright, and we'll just turn this on for a bit longer. And I never usually need very many of these. I'll usually get like a stack of those per like about this amount of normal of the these rails. And then I'll show you how to use these rails in a pattern that will propel you really easily. And we can just put these in here for storage. Hopefully this machine isn't too loud. So like this. And pick up all these rails, and yeah, that should be great for now. And if we run out, we can always just go back and get more of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out our shovel. We're going to need this a lot, and basically the rail is going to be going from the village to here, and I'm not actually entirely sure of how I want this line to go into. Maybe it'll go into a station, maybe it'll go into something else. So what I'm going to do to solve that problem is I'm actually going to start the rail line at the village and then work my way back to my house, so that eventually once it gets near here, then I can decide what I'm going to do with that then, instead of having to decide it right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab myself a couple bits of supplies we are going to need. The first one is a mine cart. That's not going to be in there. We are going to need though is yeah, a mine cart. We're going to need ourselves a button and also a few blocks, since we're going to need that for the first half of the rail line. And I think these smooth stone should work fine. And we'll just get ourselves a stone button, which should be doable in here. Yeah, we'll just grab that. Stone button should work well. I mean, it can be any button really, but stone button is just quite easy to craft. And yeah, there's a mine cart already, so that's perfect. I think we got that from the abandoned mine shaft, I believe. Might have been somewhere else, I'm not exactly sure. So another thing we'll grab actually real quick is a bed, because we're going to be out quite far away, and I don't want to have to run back here just to go to sleep, which is just kind of annoying. So we might have an extra bed in here. It doesn't look like we do, so what we can do is just grab those planks. And we can go over here and grab ourselves some wool of whatever color we want. I think I'll go with lime green, because why not? It's kind of a nice color. And yeah, we'll go over here and craft ourselves up a nice bed. There we go. And now we're set. We can go on our way to start building this rail line. So we're going to head over here. And what we're going to do is we're basically going to, yeah, basically it'll be going straight down this way. So we're just going to keep going straight that way. And that'll basically just make it so that we can have a really direct way of getting to the village, since this village is rather close, but it'd be nicer to have a really quick way. So yeah, 71 again, that's the level we want most of this rail line to be at. So even if it looks kind of funny when we put it in, eventually it will be the correct level of this world, since eventually I want to do a lot of landscaping and flattening and excavation and stuff like that around here, just so that I can basically just build easier, right? And things can also just be easier to get around, so you know, since you don't have to go down like big dips and stuff like that. So I wonder what level this is. That's 71 actually, so a lot of this rail line might be a little bit higher up, and in that case what I'm just going to do is grab a little bit of this grass here right off the top here, just because then I can use that to put the rail line on if it's going to be above everything else. It looks like there's actually a really cool cave there. We're going to have to explore that one sometime. That looks super cool. Yeah, so we're going to start over here. And I know what the first station is going to look like. The little side stations are really easy. I usually just do a little pole with a button on it and then attach the rail into there. Looks like there's a dark gray horsey. Hello, horsey. But anyway, we're going to keep going this way. And the station will probably keep going straight on like this, and then it'll probably turn to one of this lower bits, this nice village. So I'm thinking we can probably have it, yeah, I'll probably go straight along there, and then I'm thinking that, because that works quite well, we'll keep going this way, and we'll probably turn it around here. So I'm thinking it can go in the middle about here. So let's see what level we have to go at. Level 69 or 68, and then we'll go 71. We'll basically just build blocks over here. And of course, we might not like do landscaping all the way over here, but it doesn't really matter if we have to change things around a little bit. So we'll just go this way, and we can always just support this later on, right? It doesn't have to be all up in the air like this all the time. And we're just going to make a way to get up to the station like this, just kind of place some blocks around. And then the actual little part of the station itself will be some smooth stone as well as a button. So we're going to like this, put the button there, and then the rail line, and let's grab out our rails here so we can actually do that. Let's grab all these rails out here because why not? The rail line will start right here with an unpowered rail. So let me just grab that here. It'll start like that. And we'll go, what I always go is I go 5 unpowered and then 1 powered. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then I'll go 1 unpowered. So I usually just kind of arrange them like this. So there's the unpowered, and basically just go through like that. And the easiest thing of doing, actually, I think that was 4. Yeah, that's 4. That's not enough. But the easiest thing of doing this is actually having it so in your inventory, this number of rail right here is divisible by 5, which means that, yeah, you can basically make it in 5 sets. And so basically because of that, I can just really easily look at that number and I don't have to count. I can just kind of visualize that. So that's really works really well, makes it quite quick. So we'll just keep building this over here and then we'll connect it up going down there, I guess. And I'm actually looking at this. This is definitely nowhere near level 71, and I don't think it would really harm anything to go this slow. Another thing we could do, possibly, so we don't have to raise the entire thing up because that is slightly annoying, is we could go over here. And actually might be a better idea because this is, let's have 73, it'd have to go down a bit. So yeah, I mean overall there's actually not much harm of really shifting around where the railway line is, so I probably won't actually have the whole thing be lifted up in the air like that because I mean realistically I don't think I'll be changing around the land this far away from my home anyway. So yeah, of course it's totally up to you if you're making a rail line, how high you want it and all that. And yeah, I think it'll just be quite easier if we do it like this, but we'll just try and keep it closer to 71 when we're quite close to my house. So we'll just move this down here like this and put it up like this. Put down our button. Oh, that's not the right place. I mean, I guess we could put it there, but it's a little bit hard to reach. And we'll just grab all these blocks here and make the line just like this. We'll just have to make sure that the rail line doesn't go too annoyingly up and down like that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, of course, we'll just change this around so it's divisible by 6. And we'll just change this around like that and basically make it go this way. Till, yeah, about down there. I think this would work quite well if we make it go down like this, and we can always just place the grass blocks that we have in here. So we can do that, and we can, when you're at a turn, this is what I do for a turn, which is what we're at right now, is I go detector, detector, and then I go a turn like this, which basically means these will actually power the rails. So let's pretend we're the minecart here. We hit this and we boost here, hit this, and basically it doesn't help us this way. When we hit this, we'll boost the power rail here. And we're going this way. This won't help anything, but we're going to hit this, which will boost this there. So it's, if you actually only need one if you're only going one way on the line, but if you're going two-way, then you need both like that to power the rail so that you don't have to have issues with that. So we'll make this go up to 5 like that, and then just change this around so it's easier to do. Yeah, so just keep heading this way, I think, till we're about maybe around the laboratory. I'm not sure. It doesn't have to be a specific amount away. Also, here's an interesting thing, too. Really good to know. If you get to a point like this, for some reason, I don't know why, I think it's a glitch, a detector rail won't actually work when it's at a slant like that. So what you want to do is you want to basically just change around your land around that a little bit and basically just change the position, because it'll work like this, but if it's tilted like that, the detector rail, for some reason or another, just won't work. So we'll keep putting these down like this. And yeah, I think we'll just keep going down through that crevice through there, because that's going to just be the easiest way of doing this, and we can just kind of have an efficient route through there. Oh, I'm placing the wrong blocks here, but yeah, and basically the thing that's cool about this compared to also doing kind of normal rails with a couple powered rails and redstone torches is that first of all, it's a lot simpler to do it like this. It's just one line. You don't have to have any redstone torches or mixes of certain amounts of rails, but also it's just quite a lot easier. Now obviously if you're not using the rail machine that I have, you can't really do it this way unless you have a huge gold farm, you know, stuff like that. But if you have the rail farm, which of course is extremely easy to make, then it's really the simplest way to do it is like this, because it works the best and it's just kind of best overall. So look like this here up, and again like this works fine. It can't be a bend on the detector rails like that. So probably keep heading this way for a little bit. And it looks like it's almost becoming bedtime, so we'll just get our bed down there in a second once we're ready for that. But yeah, we'll just keep going this way. I mean, really, if you're placing down just a simple rail line like this, you can almost place it down as fast as you can walk, which makes it so that it's actually a pretty quick process, a lot quicker than you would think. So you can make rail lines all around your world quite simply. So that's always a nice thing too, because obviously making a very long rail line can seem complicated, but it often isn't as long as you use the right techniques. Another thing I'll sometimes do too, and I might do it here, I'm not sure, is you can actually make path blocks on either side of the rail like this, and it'll kind of just make it be marked out. But the main reason for that is actually because then it'll be visible on the map. And when it's visible on the map, you can kind of see where your rail lines are and plan your building a little bit easier. So we'll probably just head to bed here real quick. Looks like it's not quite bedtime. It looks like the sun is down. Alright, there we go. And in the morning, we'll finish up this railway line. Alright, kind of funny, I was looking at that mountain over there, half of it's stone, half of it's dirt. That's actually really funny there. It's like a straight line through. So many little unnatural things like that, but I suppose Minecraft isn't nature, so you'd be able to find a lot of things that are unnatural. So we'll put these through here and get our next set of rails up like that. And obviously these rails are basically free once you've gotten your first amount. So, I mean, really, as long as you have slime, that's kind of the hardest thing to get in this whole design overall, is the slime. But even then, you only need 7 blocks of it plus 1 slime ball for the sticky piston. So it's not really that hard. So we'll just move this around a little bit like this, although it's a little bit annoying. Actually, what level is this? This is 71, actually. We'll do is we'll put this on a little, not sure what the word is, but basically a line of blocks going out like this, because this will definitely be raised up to this level in the somewhat near future, I would say. Hopefully I won't procrastinate doing that too much, since it is a rather large project. But yeah, they'll just make it so we don't have to move a lot of the rail line quite soon, since that would just kind of be annoying, right, to have to do a lot of redoing things like that. So I'm thinking we'll do that, and then once we get near here, I'm thinking the rail station should be somewhat near, like it'll be in the kind of where this building is here. I want to kind of build somewhat of a city, at least I hope I'll be able to do that eventually. So I'll probably have the rail station somewhat near there, and that'll probably just work the best overall. But I do want it probably one of the nearest buildings to my house, since then it would be kind of a waste of time if it took so long to get to the railway station that it'd almost be quicker to walk, right? We don't want to do anything like that. So like this, and we can put these rail lines all the way up like this, and we'll probably run into the laboratory in a minute here. So actually this is going up, we don't want it to go up. So I think we'll probably do, I think if there's a rail station, I'm thinking it'll probably be somewhere kind of possibly here where we are right now, like lower down of course, but it'll definitely be kind of in this area, like quite near the house. So what I'll probably do is I'll probably just stop the rails right here, because I'm thinking that I'll probably be doing the rest of that probably in a later episode. Yeah, we can try out our station now. We can't really try it from this side, but we can totally try riding it. And the way to start one of these, if you can't, since obviously these are not powered, is to push it. Not push it that way, push it the other way. And then just to get in, and you'll be on your way. So we can basically see how this works. It seems like it's working out real charm, so that seems to be working really well. And yeah, we can basically get here quite quickly, and obviously once we've gotten an actual station down too, it'll be even easier to get to and from the village. And you'll see once we get to the other station, it does kind of automatically stop you, which is quite nice, because yeah, it's just a nice little starting and stopping mechanism, is that little pillar with the button on it. So we'll go this way, and you'll see once we get here, it'll just stop us. And if we want to start again, we can just press the button, although it actually has to be up to the edge for some reason. And we can just go back like this, and it'll basically send us back. And yeah, we'll basically just be able to go there quite quickly. And we can also break some of this grass on the side, possibly as we're riding. We can break grass as we ride, which is kind of a funny thing. But yeah, it actually does work, which is quite funny. Although I'm sure we're getting a little bit seasick here, so yeah, let's keep heading this way. And I will probably put those path blocks on the side at some point here, although I may end up doing something else too, like maybe putting the rails on top of some sort of stone or something. But yeah, basically that's how to make the rail line and all that. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to press the like button. Make sure to subscribe to see more content like this, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!